What's going on, guys? Michael here, and in today's video I want to talk about the three stocks you want to keep your eye on. Now, I've talked about these stocks in other videos before, and those stocks are BigBear.ai, QUBT, and Pony.ai. And as always, my results are not typical, this is not financial advice, and your results may vary. With that being out of the way, and that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this video. I want to cover my daily P&L and my weekly P&L. Let's hop into it. All right, as you can see here on my day, I've made around $258. It's still fluctuating in the aftermarket hours. I keep going from like $250 to $300 on the day. So that's going to keep going up until the market finally closes. But let's go ahead and take a look at the actual count for the week. And that's around $850. So this week isn't too bad. We still have another day tomorrow, and then we don't get to trade on Friday, which is 4th of July. So happy Independence Day to everybody celebrating that. But with that being said, I do want to take a look at the overall markets. Okay, so this is Invesco QQQ Trust, and it's looking beautiful. We've had this nice uptrend from the fifth fastest stock market crash. We rallied very hard. We have broken past the all-time highs and created new all-time highs. Very excited about that. We are trading just below this top Bollinger Band on the one-day time frame, and the RSI sitting around 70.77. So it's right there at that overbought level. But with all the positive news going on, including the big beautiful bill for those people who are against it or not against it, I do believe that it is beneficial to the overall stock market. So as that continues to progress and move forward, I do believe the market will continue to go on that uptrend. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into the rest of the video. I did make a couple bullet points revolving and focusing on the fundamentals of the three stocks that I mentioned earlier. Let's take a look at those. All right, it's time. The wait is over. So the first one here is BigBear.ai. So one of the first things we want to talk about is they secured major defense contracts. The U.S. Army tapped BigBear.ai to provide global force management solutions, and the NSA awarded a 5-year contract, significantly bolstering its government backlog. That's huge. That's huge news. They also won a Department of Defense CDAO award to prototype its virtual anticipation network for geopolitical risk analysis, underscoring its strategic role in national security AI initiatives. They delivered 5% year-over-year revenue growth in Q1 2025 to $34.8 million, driven by new Department of Homeland Security and Digital Identity awards, demonstrating expanding multi-agency adoption. This stock is on fire. So when we show the technicals, you will see how far we've come in just this last week alone. But let's talk about the next one, which is QUBT. Okay, so robust balance sheet with an ample runway. In a private placement announced last week, Quantum Computing Inc. raised $200 million at $14.25 per share, boosting its cash and cash equivalents to over $350 million with zero debt, providing the capital to fund R&D and commercial expansion for years to come. Right? Deepening strategic government partnerships. Just 2 months ago was awarded a contract by NASA to apply its Dirac-3 photonic optimization solver to space-based LiDAR data analysis, highlighting strong validation of its core technology and cementing its role in high-value federal programs. Broader institutional investor base via index inclusion. Earlier this week, QUBT was added to both the Russell 2000 and 3000 indexes, ensuring automatic passive inflows from funds tracking those benchmarks and significantly raising the stock's visibility amongst institutional managers. This news was huge, and when we go over the technicals, you will see QUBT has been skyrocketing as well. Okay, Pony.ai formed a strategic partnership with Uber on May 6, 2025 to integrate Pony.ai's robotaxi services directly into Uber's platform, greatly expanding its market access in key U.S. cities. They announced a 70% reduction in production costs for its autonomous driving system, enabling mass production by mid-2025 and scaling its fleet from approximately 300 to over 1,000 robotaxis by year-end, paving the way to profitability. Reports that Uber may help finance Travis Kalanick's potential acquisition of Pony.ai's U.S. arm signal strong investor interest and potential strategic support for aggressive expansion. So this is all great news, and again, we're going to go over this in the technicals, so showcasing the growth of this company. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the technical analysis of these three companies. Okay, so the first stock here, BigBear.ai. As you can see, it rallied pretty hard today, reaching a high of $7.85, which is just insane because if we just zoom out a little bit, we're on the 1 day time frame. Let's count how many days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Even at 9, if we just go back 9 days, that's $3.82 all the way to $7.85. That's insane growth. I mean, you could just see these Goliath Hulk freaking Shrek candles shooting through the atmosphere. It's absolutely insane. With that being said, though, I do want to note for caution that we are above this top Bollinger Band, and if you look at the RSI, we are at 78.59. So we are at that overbought level. And if we look at the RSI in the past, whenever we hit those levels in the past, this one was at 80.17, we've seen a steep, sharp decline. So I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but what I'm saying is to be cautious and be aware of that. So my position on this is, although I am long-term bullish on BigBear.ai and I love the company, I think everything they're doing is great, I do want to take the fact that they are overbought into my risk, and my position is going to be based off that analysis. So simply what I'm looking at is taking cash secured puts. So if we go on the options chain and we go, let's say we go 30 days out, and let's say I feel comfortable buying at $6, right? So the cash secured puts expiring on August 1st, 30 days out at the strike price of $6 are going to pay you $45, which is just huge. If we take a look at our calculator here, if you put in $45 and divide it by the strike price of $6, that's going to give you a return of 7.5% over 30 days. That's insane. That's almost 8% in 30 days. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on, and that's definitely something I will be taking advantage of starting tomorrow. Okay. And then if we look at the analysis ratings, right now it says 50% hold. So we're at that point where it could, potentially go down or stay flat or potentially go up, but we're not too sure. So 50% are saying just hold it, 25% say it's a strong buy, and the other 25% say it's just a regular buy. The targets for the end of the year are $9. Now, they're very close to that target. They did hit a high of $7.85, so there's still room to grow. But there's also a lot of room to retrace back down to that downside. I'm more focusing on the average, which says 5.83, which is why I'm doing 30 days out, $6 strike cash secured puts that are going to pay me $45 per contract. I'll probably open about 10 of those to make me around an income of $450 in 30 days. Okay. Let's take a look at QUBT. Same thing here. It was slightly above the top Bollinger Band. Then it retraced, and now it is approaching the top Bollinger Band again. If we look at the RSI, when it was above the RSI at 78.56, it did have a little bit of a retracement, and now it is approaching the overbought levels, and it's sitting at 68.63. I do think there's a little bit of room here for it to gap up, but I am still thinking about taking cash secured puts, because if we go to the options chain again and we go 30 days out to August 1st, and you see I feel comfortable buying at the strike price of $18, that's going to pay you $130. $130 in 30 days. So if we take out our calculator and we go 130 and divide it by 18, that's going to give you a return of 7.22% over 30 days, which is such a nice return. Those are huge gains. So I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of those starting tomorrow when my cash settles. And then, of course, when you look at the analyst rating, it is 100% a strong buy with targets sitting at $22 by the year end. So I definitely think that if you get filled at $18, $19, $20, you're sitting pretty. Not too much to talk about there. Let's go ahead and look at Pony.ai. So Pony.ai has been a literal roller coaster, right? We've seen it hit highs of 23.88 and then drop down to lows of around, what is that? Look at that, $3.10. Then we've seen it rally again to hit 21.31, $22, and then drop back down to lows of $10.78. So it has been a roller coaster over here. Pony.ai in the aftermarket hours is sitting around $13.19. I think that this stock is a sleeper stock. I think this stock is going to rally like no tomorrow once it becomes fully profitable, or there's some news about the Uber CEO potentially acquiring Pony.ai. So buying it out completely and owning the company, that would shoot this stock to at least $22 easily. No questions, no doubt about that, right? So I would definitely love for that to happen. In the meantime, though, with no crazy news being out right now, I do want to keep that in mind in my risk and in my analysis. I believe the best course of action to get that best premium is to take covered calls. So if we go to the options chain, we switch to calls, and we want to target something 30 days out on August 1st, and we want to target something like 15, it's going to pay you $81. $81. Okay, let's take our calculator. Let's go $81 divided by 15. That's going to give you a 5.4% return guaranteed just on the premium alone. You can still make a lot of money on the shares going up, but just alone on premium, you're making a 5.4% return in 30 days. So I'm definitely going to be opening up some more covered calls, which I do have right now. I have some covered calls for Pony right here, as you can see. $15 strike expiring August 15th. I want to open some more for August 1st, which is 30 days out. Super excited about that. Okay. All right. And if we look at the analysis, based on 5 analysts, 80% of them say it's a strong buy and 20% say it's a buy, with targets at $15.25 on the low, average $20.65, and high $26. So we're below all the targets based off these analysts, which is a really good sign that we are posed for a nice rally, a nice little bull run, and I am excited to see it bounce from these major support zones back to those major resistance zones. That's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. And as always, trade safe, trade smart, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.